Hello there, I am Liz. I am an artist slash character designer and aspiring VTuber artist. I made my own little VTube model here, and I just love character design in general, so that's what we're doing for this video. I decided to combine two of my favorite things in this world, which are Squishmallows and VTubers. So today, we're turning VTubers into Squishmallows. So, first things first, we have to choose a Squishmallow to turn into a VTuber. My personal favorite Squishmallows, and one of the only ones I really collect, are Bigfoots. They're just these derpy little round guys that are so heckin' cute. So I knew I'd have to turn one of them into a VTuber. And I decided to go right off the bat with my favorite one, which is Yekaterine. Yekaterine? I think it's Yekaterine. I might be saying her name wrong, but hopefully I got it right. Yekaterine is a Bigfoot, but she's also this little clown gal that is so cute. And I knew she would be perfect to be a VTuber. I also have a tiny little one that I can put on my desk as I draw her, which was a lot of fun for this video. But anyways, let's get right into it. First off, I started with some quick sketches, which is the best way to start any character design. Bigfoots have these really funky, puffy ears that jut out of their head, and I knew I was gonna turn those into really big, poofy pigtails. So I started with that. I was keeping the theme very simple. She's basically just a silly little clown gal. I didn't want to overcomplicate it to start, so I just kept her cute and fun. I also started experimenting with making her a very round character, which just made her so bouncy and cute. I wanted her to have something with her clothes that was big and poofy, because I knew this would make a really interesting silhouette and just add to the character design overall. While sketching, I didn't really decide on a specific design. More so, I was just testing out elements, so I had a general idea of what I would want her to look like. I jumped right into the sketching of the final model. I always start off with the face because it's the most important part of any VTuber, so you really want to nail it and make sure they're very expressive. You have to know what their personality is right from the beginning. That's the basics of VTuber design. Focus mostly on the face. I wanted to give her these big, unique eyes. Yekaterine is this funny, silly gal, so I need to capture that with her expression. I made sure to give her this goofy little smile with this little gap in her teeth, which I think are so cute. I also got right to her pigtails because I wanted them to be really unique with a nice defined shape. I think VTuber hair is the perfect time to make a character really stand out, so I like to focus a lot on the shape and how it translates into the personality of this character. Then I proceeded to get into her outfit. I ended up giving her these big poofy shorts that I had to redraw a couple of times because at first they were overpowering her body, if that makes sense. I gave her a really fun round body type, and I wanted to complement that with her clothes rather than hide it. Finally, I was off to lining. I usually use a sketchy brush when I start to line, but I found this pixelated line tool that I really liked and ended up sticking with. I did it for both my models, and I'm glad I did because it's really cute. Since this part pretty much speaks for itself, let's talk about Yekaterine herself. So, Squishmallows come with these little tags on them that describe a little bit about them. So I find it really funny that they made Yekaterine a clown because her tag also says that she is a tax accountant. Which, if that's not the best job in the world for a clown, I don't know what is. I imagine her office is super, super colorful and fun with a big horn that she honks whenever she finishes someone's taxes. She's one of those rare math creatives. I know a lot of artists, very few of them like math, but she loves it. VTubing is definitely her hobby that she does after work to just decompress and have fun with her friends. I imagine she streams a lot of games that she is just terrible at. This girl cannot figure out keys for the life of her. but she does her best, and gosh, is she funny when she does it. With all of that out of the way, I did some shading. I did very simple shading because I wanted to get to our next victim. But Yekaterine was finally done. I think she is so heckin' cute. I really, really love how she turned out. She's like such a silly little gal that would make a really fun and awesome VTuber. But with that done, it's time to get to our next Squishmallow. It was time to choose our next squish, which I admittedly had a really hard time picking between everyone. But I eventually chose Tove, who is this really adorable spring moth with a flower crown. For this design, I originally had the idea to make them in beige with a really big hat, but it didn't hit quite as hard as I thought it would. So I moved on to more of a pretty feel with like a big poofy dress and a bonnet, which I really liked in the beginning. But I eventually came to realize that a big hat wouldn't really work because Tove already has a flower crown and these really cute antennas, which combined with a hat felt just like too much for me. Too much was going on with her head. I also came to realize I didn't put wings on her, which Tove does have wings, so she needs some. But I didn't want to do the typical wings coming out of her back. I ended up playing around with the idea of her wings being worn as a shawl over her dress, and I thought that looked really, really cute with her big frilly dress, and I ended up keeping this. Once again, I didn't decide on a design per se. I just tested things out, then got to drawing. I first got to her face. I wanted to give her these cute, sleepy eyes with really thick eyebrows. Then I got to her body, which for the body design, I wanted her to be droopy. I imagined her this tired, monotone gal, but she's like really sweet, nice, and I thought a droopy body would work really well with this. I ended up not pushing it as far as I could have, which if I did it again, I would definitely exaggerate her body shape a lot more. Also, for the flower crown, I will say I found a free brush through Clip Studio Paint, which worked wonders for drawing in the flowers fast. I focused on making her hair simple but interesting. Later in the sketching, I'll redraw it a couple of times so I get exactly what I'm looking for. I will say her wing shawl makes no sense, which hurts my brain a little, but it looks cute, so I'll ignore that it doesn't make sense. I also added a flower belt in the sketch that I never ended up drawing, and now I'm a little sad that I didn't add it in, but at the time I just thought it'd be too overpowering for her overall design. Now it's time to get into some facts about Tove. In her description, it says how she runs a soda shop, which is just her passion. And I find that really, really heckin' cute. I recently had a customer come into my work and tell me how they used to have soda shops that were customizable. Like basically you came in and chose what flavors you'd want, and then right in front of you they would make your soda. And I thought a customizable soda shop would be so perfect for Tove because she would absolutely love it. And just blending all of the colors to get really interesting end products would be her passion. I tried to make her dress almost have a uniform feel to it with the coloring. Just the design doesn't really look like a uniform. Because I imagine her VTubing consists of her talking about her career. She basically just does chatting times where she tells stories about interesting customers or just fun days she's had. She just really, really loves interacting with people and telling their stories. And I find that really, really sweet and cute. Now it was time to get to Tove's colors, which admittably, I was stuck on them, basically. I had a hard time with the colors. I did a lot of off-screen playing around, but even off-screen I couldn't get exactly what I wanted. So I recorded some of it, I'll include that. I just had a hard time deciding what colors I would use for what. I ended up using this technique I learned from Squeegee, who is a really good VTuber design YouTuber that you can go and watch. They have some really, really good videos where basically you take the character, you put them in grayscale to make sure that a lot of the tones aren't the same. Because if too many of the tones are the same, all of the colors just kind of blend together and get muted. and I did find that really helped with me deciding on exactly what I would do. I think the wings were the hardest part. They really tripped me up because I just kept putting too many colors in them, and it looked really bad and overwhelming. How I got away with adding a lot of color to the wings is I ended up making most of her outfit white, with just like accent darker pink colors to make it pop. I ended up deciding for the wings that I would make them green like her hair, so that at least her wings did look like they were her wings. I won't lie, I really was not feeling the color staging for this gal. I just couldn't make it work, and I ended up settling on a palette because I was getting tired of it. Coloring for me is one of the hardest parts. I just have a hard time choosing at any given point. I'll give myself too many options and then it just gets overwhelming. But I did decide on a palette, and by the time I got to the coloring stage, I was starting to feel it more, especially once we were finally shading it. It was really starting to come together, and I was finally happy with this gal. And with that, we are done Tove, and I can finally show you what they look like together. Here they are, Yekaterine and Tove. I think they look so cute together, and I didn't realize it until now, but they have similar color palettes, which just look really, really cute. I love how they came out. I'm especially happy with them just standing beside each other because they fit together so well. If you liked this video, please leave a like and comment. Even better yet, subscribe. I do plan on doing a lot more VTuber design videos. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave it below. If there's a Squishmallow I definitely have to make into a VTuber next, comment them and I'll look into it. But thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, I am Luz. Goodbye.